Hey everybody, welcome to another World of Warships replay. Once again, the New Mexico, a fantastically well-rounded battleship. And just a viewer discretion warning, this one features more use of brutally uncalled for force than probably any of my videos since the Mogami match. This is just so violent it would make the Albuquerque Police Department blush. So you have been warned. If you don't want to watch poor little puppies get their shit kicked in, don't watch the video. Now with that said, we do outnumber the enemy. We both have 4 battleships aside. They have 3 cruisers to our 4. We have a lot more destroyers than them, and by a lot I actually mean 2. However, 5 versus 3 as far as destroyers go is quite significant. The trade-off the enemy get is an aircraft carrier, which we lack. Hopefully our cruisers will make up for it with anti-aircraft fire. You'll notice we've got a Kitakami as well. But the aircraft carrier is potentially an enormous advantage if it's played well. Played poorly, an aircraft carrier is nothing but deadweight, but played well, it is the most dangerous thing you'll face in this game. Anyway, without much other idea what to do, I just call a southeast push. It looks like most of the guys up here are going along with it. And here we can see the upgraded New Mexico in all her glory. Kind of a, I don't know, maybe not an ugly ship, it's kind of grown on me, but certainly not as elegant looking as the Japanese ships or the later British designs. It has sort of a rough and tumble practicality about it, so I guess I kind of like that. That might be why it's grown on me. Right away, we see the enemy making a mass charge for the central point. They're going to try and cap fast on and counter, because we all know from World of Tanks how well that works. Take a quick shot at the Amagi, which is one of the more powerful battleships in the game, and oh my god, that was perfect. I could not have asked for a better result from that. And if you see the flames there, he's lost his fucking engine from the opening salvo of the game. Now, I don't want to toot my own horn too much, but that was fantastically well aimed. And this is what happens when you get used to your ship's guns. This is why I kept the New Mexico. And this is why, again, I think that the aiming assistance mod is only useful for people who can't aim to begin with. And there we go, another Citadel, this time on a Cleveland. So within the opening 3 minutes, of the match, I have done more damage than a lot of players will do over the course of an entire 20-minute slugfest. Gotta be happy with that. As ever, the key is knowing where to lead a moving ship and also where you want to hit. You want to be hitting, particularly at these kind of ranges, around the middle of the ship in the engineering spaces. It's more reliable than going for magazine shots. Magazines are more of a close-range target. Fortunately, the island there ate half my broadside. I did pick up some damage on the Colorado, but not as much as I was hoping for. And he is now closing into the cluster of islands where our destroyer is. Those islands are relatively flat, so Mutsuki's going to want to keep an eye out. The Colorado may be able to get shots over them to hit him. The enemy Ibuki attracts my attention with a couple shells, but passes into cover before I can get a shot. Take a quick look around, decide I'd be best off sticking with the targets that are in this area, rather than trying to gun down the battleship in front of me. Fletcher pops out around the corner. I send some shells his way. Unfortunately, no hits. He began to turn right after I fired, and it carried him out of the path of my shells. Had he continued on the course he was on, he would have eaten them. It is difficult hitting a destroyer head-on like that with a battleship, particularly broadside, because the spread of your turrets just makes the shells hit everywhere but on the destroyer. But if you do get a hit on them, especially front-on, it just wrecks them. Front-on AP hits on destroyers will usually 1 or 2 shot them. So the Ibuki is now crossing open water. And he's shooting at somebody else, not paying attention to his left. That broadside misses him, it falls just short. And one of our friendly destroyers has shit out a ton of torpedoes in my general direction. I managed to get away from them, but Mutsuki is in a very bad place right now. He's got a lot of shit chasing him. Enemy Colorado is obscured by the island. The Kagero fires off its torps, or had fired off its torps already. Thankfully for me, the New Mexico might not be fast, but it does turn well, and in any case, those torps weren't that well aimed. Although, to be fair to him, I had been changing course. Only one tags my stern. Thankfully, it doesn't Bismarck me. And so I'm able to get to a safer distance from that engagement. I can't save our Mitsuki, but I can save myself. The Ibuki is once again exposed fully to me. He's still not paying attention, and he's going to get punished dearly for that by losing nearly all of his hit points in a single broadside. He gets cleaned up by one of our other ships, in fact by a cruiser, who was already dead at the time of the Ibuki's death. Here I'm presented with the Colorado. It's now in the Fletcher smokescreen, that's why it just vanished. So even as large a target as a battleship can be hidden by smoke. However, the Fletcher turns, gives me a broadside shot, and kaboom, there goes all his health. And worth noting, none of those were Citadel hits. He just lost all his health from regular AP hits, because they hit him right in the meat of the ship, and not much you can do about that. Had I Citadel hit him with even probably 2 shells, it would have blown him up in one salvo. Sorry I'm tripping over my words a bit. Kind of, again, trying to keep an eye on what's actually happening in game. I'm not very good at commentary, and so I usually end up just basically giving a running commentary of what is going on rather than what I was thinking, or I'd start talking about a particular ship and end up forgetting to commentate what is actually happening. Anyway, Colorado's run himself aground here. I do get some secondary battery shots into the destroyer there. Colorado is very vulnerable in this position, and I do get torps launched at me by the enemy Kagero, but it was a desperate move as he beached himself and I pulled around the island from him. He goes down to one of my teammates, gets some hits into the Colorado, not as much as I'd like, but I'll take it. And here I know I'm pretty stuffed. The Fletcher gets his torps out, but he's taken down by a teammate, and there's no way I was going to survive that. Pretty brutal end to what was a pretty brutal match for me. I didn't actually sink any ships myself, but I was instrumental in helping my team sink them. I softened up a lot of their ships by a lot. That's 3 Citadel hits, 36 hits total. Lit someone on fire, critted 3 different modules, or 3 people, I can't remember. One of them was the Amagi at the start, and then I had some crits towards the end as well. I can't remember offhand how much damage this was. It should be in the post-games, assuming I've been able to add them to the video description like I usually do. But it was a hell of a lot of damage. It was a monster game, which is what the New Mexico has been giving me the whole time I've been playing it. So definitely a keeper when the game comes out for real. I'm keeping the New Mexico. Here we get a look at the Iowa. This is actually the first time I think an Iowa's appeared close up in one of my videos. It looks outwardly similar to the North Carolina. They have a similar shape. The Iowa's superstructure is more towards the center. The North Carolina looks kind of more towards the rear. Or at least the layout of the superstructure itself is a bit different. Now I think this Iowa doesn't have the hull upgrade yet because he has the old type of the superstructure without the enclosed bridge, or the fully enclosed bridge that is probably more familiar to a lot of people. The Iowa is a fantastic ship. It's very fast, it's relatively agile for a ship of this size, and has great guns. last enemy ship's about to go down, and I should note at this point very quickly, since the enemy will bring it up in chat, the New Mexico not only has a great turn radius, but it also has one of the best rudder shift times you'll see in a battleship, particularly at tier 6. It is fantastic. It handles more like a fat cruiser than a battleship. Anyway, this is about it, so thanks for watching.